Hey first graders, so I'm going to continue reading Junie B. Jones Has a Peep in Her Pocket. And we read yesterday chapters 1 through 3, so today we are going to read chapters 4 through 6. And then tomorrow I'll read to you chapters 7 and 8, which is the entire book. So I probably could have shown you the words instead of showing you my face, but I've just missed you all, and I know that a lot of my videos through this at-home learning have been me just showing the work and me working through it instead of my face. So I just thought, since this is the last read aloud I'm going to be doing for you before our summer break officially starts, that I would just read it and show my face instead of the words of a chapter book, because that can be overwhelming too for some of you. So remember that as I'm reading with chapter books that don't have a lot of pictures, I will show you the pictures when there are any, but I want you to be imagining that story happening. Whatever words I'm reading, I want you to play that movie in your head. Play that action of what is happening. Try to see it in your mind and imagination. All right, so if you remember in chapters 1 through 3, Junie B. Jones is, her class is getting ready to go on a field trip, and they are going to go to a farm. And she at first was not excited about that because she was terrified of ponies. And then she decided to be okay with ponies, but now she's terrified of chickens or roosters. So right now she showed her picture in class of the rooster being under a tree that fell in a thunderstorm, and her teacher just had to walk away from that assignment. So let's see what Junie B is up to now. Chapter 4. Cockle-doodly-doo. On Saturday, Mother came into my room. She said we were going shopping for clothes for the farm trip. I looked out from my coloring book. No, thank you, I said, on account of I'm getting a fever that day, so I won't actually be going to the farm. Mother laughed. Don't be silly, she said. Then she picked me up and carried me out to the car. Yeah, only here's the problem. You are not respecting my wishes, I said. Mother laughed some more. I promise this will be fun. I did a huffy breath. Whatever, I said. Whatever is the grown-up word for that is the silliest idea I have ever heard. And guess what? I was right. Shopping was not fun at all, because Mother kept on making me try on clothes that I didn't want. First, she made me try on a shirt with checkered squares. Then she made me try on overalls with big giant pockets. Plus, she tied a bandana around my neck, and she put on a straw hat on my head. I looked in the mirror at myself. What do you know? I'm a cornball, I said. Only too bad for me, because Mother said I looked cute as a button, and she bought those clothes anyway. Plus, she also bought me a throwaway camera at the drugstore. After we got home, I started to color again. My mother hanged up my new clothes. Do you want me to show you how to use the camera for your trip now? She asked. No, thank you, I said, on account of I'm getting a fever that day, so I won't actually be going to the farm. After that, Mother did a big sigh. And she closed my closet door and let me color in peace. I got tricked, because on that day of the trip, I told Mother I had a fever, but that woman did not even take my word for it. Instead, she took my temperature. And so what kind of trust is that, I ask you? No fever, she said. Then Mother dressed me in my farm clothes, and she drove me right to my school. We pulled in the parking lot. Oh no, I said. Oh no, oh no, oh no. because the bus was there for the field trip already. It was parked right at the curb. Believe me, Junie B, said Mother. You're going to have a great day. Then she got me out of the car and she pulled me to my teacher. Good morning, Junie B, said Mrs. Don't you look cute today? I felt my forehead. I'm ill, I said. Mrs. smiled. I love your straw hat. My head is a flaming fireball, I said. Mrs. bent down next to me. And that bandana is absolutely darling. I am burning to a crinkle, I told her. Crisp, said Mother. Whatever, I said. After that, Mother lifted me onto the bus, and she handed me my backpack with my lunch and camera. She waved goodbye to me. I did not wave back because my hand did not feel friendly. Just then, my bestest friend named Grace came running to get me. Junie B, Lucille and I saved you a seat. Then she grabbed my arm and she took me all the way to the back. I sat down next to Lucille. No, said that Grace. That's my seat, Junie B. She quickly pulled me up. So where am I supposed to sit then? I asked. Lucille pointed across the aisle. Right there, silly, she said. You're sitting right directly across from Grace and me, and so it's almost like we're sitting together, except you will be separate. I sat down. There's nobody to talk to over here, I told her. Just then, that meanie Jim jumped up from the seat behind me. Me? You can talk to me, he said, very laughing. Then he leaned into my ear and hollered, Cockle-doodly-doo! Right into my eardrum. Too bad you're afraid of roosters, he said. Roosters can tell if you're afraid, Junie B. Ask anybody. Roosters always peck nearby scaredy heads first. No, they do not, Jim, I said back. You're just making that up, probably. And anyhow, if roosters pecked people's heads off, all farms would have nub heads. All farmers would have nub heads. Only they don't, so there. Ha, ha. Jim raised one eyebrow. Are you sure all farmers don't have nub heads? He said kind of spookily. Are you sure? He did a grin. Why do you think farmers wear hats? Jim leaned closer. To cover up their nubs, that's why, he whispered. After that, he lifted up my hat, and he patted my head, and he cockle-doodly-dooed all over again. Chapter 5. E-I-E-I-O. The bus drove for a very long time. Polly Allen Puffer was sitting with that Jim I hate. When we were riding, he stood up behind me. Junie B, listen to the song we just made up, he said. Then he and Jim started singing their song as loud as they could. Old MacDonald had a nub, E-I-E-I-O, and on his nub he had a hat, E-I-E-I-O, with an ow-ow here and an ow-ow there. Here an ow, there an ow, everywhere an ow-ow. Old MacDonald had a nub, E-I-E-I-O. Finally, I covered my ears with my hands so I couldn't hear them anymore. Then I sang a loud song of my own. It's called, Ha Ha, I Can't Hear You. I invented the words all by myself. Ha ha, I can't hear you. Ha ha, I can't hear you. Ha ha, I can't hear you. I sang that song a jillion times, I think. Then all of a sudden, the bus turned down a long dirt road. And oh no, it was the farm. We're here, shouted the children, very thrilled. I looked out the window. There was a big house with trees all around it. Also, there was a barn and a tractor and some chickens. I did a big gulp at those peccary things. Because chickens have pointy lips just like roosters. I quick scrunched down on the bus floor. Then I hid under my backpack very sneaky, 'cause maybe if I keep real quiet, Mrs. won't see me, and I could hide on the bus the entire time. Lucille and that Grace stood up from their seats, and I made the shh sign at them. Do not tell the teacher I'm here, I said. I mean it, I whispered. Only too bad for me, because just then I heard the worstest noise in the world. It was the noise of a big, dumb, tattletale boy. Teacher, teacher, Junie B. Jones is hiding in the floor. I see her, shouted meanie Jim. Shh, I yelled, but Jim did not shh. Instead, he jumped up on the bus seat and he pointed his finger at me. She's trying to hide under her backpack so you won't see her, but you can see almost her perfectly good. He got off the seat and waved to me, very teasing. Ta-ta, he said, then followed Lucille and Grace right off the bus. After that, my heart got very poundy inside, because I heard the sound of footprints. That's why. I scrunched myself tighter. Junie B. It was the voice of Mrs. I didn't answer her. Junie B., I see you, okay? Your backpack isn't big enough to hide you, she said. I looked up real slow. Hello, how are you today? I said, kind of nervous. I'm fine, only I'm not actually hiding. Mrs. crossed her arms. Then what are you actually doing? She asked me. I did a gulp. I'm tidying, I said. Tidying what? Asked Mrs. I thinked real fast. I'm tidying the floor, I told her. I quick took off my bandana, then I wiped the floor with it. Good news, I said. It's tidy now. All of a sudden I heard a chuckle. I turned my head and saw some boots. Junie B. Jones, said Mrs., I would like you to meet Farmer Flores. Farmer Flores owns the beautiful farm we're going to be visiting today. I raised my eyebrows very slow. Then finally I looked all the way to the top of his head. That's when my arms got shivers all over them. 'Cause guess what? Farmer Flores was wearing a hat. Chapter 6. Farmer Flores. Farmer Flores did a nice smile. Your teacher tells me that you're not very happy about being here today, he said. I felt my forehead again. I'm ill, I said. Yes, well, I've been thinking about how I could make this a better visit for you, and I was wondering if maybe you would like to be my special farmhand today. Do you know what a special farmhand is, Junie B? I shook my head no. Well, for one thing, the special farmhand gets to walk with the farmer in the very front of the line. Would you like that, do you think? I did my shoulders up and down. I don't know. Maybe, I said. And also, the special farmhand gets to be the very first person to sit on the tractor, said Farmer Flores. Does that sound like fun to you? I sighed very big. I don't know. Maybe, I said. Oh, he said, but here's the most important job of all. The special farmhand gets to help me keep all the children in order. Just then my mouth came all the way open. In order? I asked, very thrilled. You mean I get to order the other children around? Farmer Flores rubbed his chin. Well, yes, I suppose you could put it that way, he said. And I quick grabbed my backpack. Well, then what are we waiting for, Farmer? I said. After that, I runned off the bus speedy fast, and I clapped my hands real loud. All right, people, get in line. Farmer Flores is going to show us around, and he doesn't have all day, folks. Pretty soon, Farmer Flores and Mrs. came off the bus, too. They told the children to please hold hands like the buddy system. You heard them, people, I hollered. The buddy system. We will be using the buddy system today. All of a sudden, Mrs. bended down next to my ear. Helping Farmer Flores doesn't mean being rude, Junie B, she said. I want you to be helpful and nice. But I am being helpful and nice, I said, 'cause I didn't even tell anyone to shut up yet. Just then I skipped to the end of the line and checked on Polly, Allen, Puffer, and Jim. I've got my eye on you two clowns, I said, very helpful and nice. Jim cockled doodly-dooed at me again. Yeah, only too bad for you, Jim, I said, 'cause I already looked around this place for roosters, and I didn't even see one of those meanie guys, so ha. After that, a quick skipped back to the front of the line, and me and Farmer led the children to the pasture. Pasture is the farm word for big grass and a fence. Only wait till you hear this. There were 4 horses and 2 ponies in that pasture, and I didn't even run from them. Attention, people, attention, I hollered. Do not be afraid of the horses and ponies. Just stand very still and they will not attack you. Probably. I thought for a second. Also, do not feed them cheese popcorn, I said. I looked at the farmer. I learned that from the zoo, I said. After that, Farmer held my hand and we led the children to the barn. The barn is where the cows get milked. All of room 9 held their noses in that place, 'cause barns smell like stink and hay. Farmer Flores told us all about milking cows. He showed us the machines that hook up to the cows, plus also we saw big giant cans that hold the milk. After he got done, he asked if we had any questions. I raised my hand. If you breathe stink air into your body, does it make your insides smell like that stink air too? Farmer didn't answer me. Only I didn't know why, because that is a troubling question, I tell you. After that, he took my hand again, and we took the children to another part of the barn. There was a black and white cow there. Farmer showed us how to milk her with a milking machine. That is called a demo cow, I believe. After that, Farmer Flores was finished talking about cows. Okay, boys and girls, let's go back outside and visit some of the other animals, he said. Just then I got a little nervous inside on account of what if he was taking us to see the rooster. I walked outside very careful. Only good news. Farmer Flores took us right to the pigs in a pen, and after that we saw goats and lambs, and I petted a lamb on her fuzzy head. And that is not even the bestest part, on account of pretty soon Mrs. Farmer Flores drove up on a shiny red tractor, and I was the first one to get to sit up there with her. I gave Mrs. my camera. Take my picture, please. Take my picture up here on this tractor. I smiled real big for her. Mrs. clicked me. That will be a beaut, she said. I said. After that, I got down from the tractor, and I took a cow picture, a pig picture, and a lamb picture. Plus also I took pictures of my bestest friends named Lucille and that Grace. Excellent picture, friends, I said real thrilled. I can't wait for Mother and Daddy to see them. Then I hurried to the big trash can and I throwed the camera right in there. See, Grace? See, Lucille? It's called a throwaway camera. Mother said that after you take the pictures, you just throw it away and buy a new one. And so what can be easier than that? Wow, said Grace. I know, it is wow, Grace. Plus, Mother said the pictures turn out beautifully. All of a sudden, Mrs. runned over, and she took my camera out of the trash can. Junie B, honey, you can't throw away the camera before the pictures are developed, she said. Shoot, I said. Nothing is ever easy, is it? After that, Mrs. put down blankets in the grass, 'cause it was time for a picnic, of course. Me and Lucille and that Grace sat on a blanket and opened our bag lunches. Yum, I said, egg salad. Yum, said that Grace, tuna salad. Yum, said Lucille, crab salad on a flaky croissant with a side order of greens in a light raspberry vinaigrette dressing. Then all of us ate our lunches, very delicious. All right, we will finish this story tomorrow.